everybody. Welcome to our first week of Christmas shorts. I've got my Christmas shorts on here, my Santa hat, my ugly Christmas sweater, which isn't really that ugly, but I'm pretty excited about it because it's Stranger Things. If you don't know what that is, that's okay, but I like it a lot. I've got my hot chocolate here in my Noom mug. And so I invite you, grab your Christmas shorts if you have them, your Santa hat if you have one of those, have your hot chocolate ready, sit in front of your nicely decorated fireplace like I am here at our house, because we have a room decorated like this, and get ready for the next few weeks of Christmas shorts. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be exploring the characters of Christmas from the Bible. We're going to be looking a little bit deeper at who they are and what they may have to teach us about that first Christmas, maybe even looking at them in a way you haven't before. And to do that, we are going to do some pretty cool stuff, like go on site visits to some of the places where these Christmas characters would have walked. And we're going to just have some fun with this. And so tonight, first week, we've got Zechariah and Elizabeth. Now, if you don't know who Zechariah and Elizabeth were, they are the parents of John the Baptist. And so they are John the Baptist's parents, but Elizabeth is also Mary's cousin, and so they're connected to Jesus, and there's a lot of things going on in the story. And today we are going to look at the story of Zechariah and Elizabeth and see what they have to teach us about Christmas. Now, each of these shorts are only going to be about 5 or so minutes, so they won't be very long, so I'm going to talk very fast, and we're going to get this stuff in together. Now, to get ready for this week to meet Zechariah and Elizabeth, we are going to have to travel to somewhere else. So let's get ready for that. Everybody put on their imagination caps and get ready for this Christmas short to leave this room with this beautiful fireplace on the other side and this tree and this mantle so greatly decorated, and get ready to go with me to the first century to tell the story of Zechariah and Elizabeth in today's Christmas short. You ready? Here we go. Whoa! Where are we? What is that? What am I? I know what that is. That is the temple during the first century. This is the temple that was there when Jesus was alive. I know what this is. This is where Zechariah went on that day that he went into the temple and was told by an angel about him having a baby. Now, why was that important? Well, I want you to imagine Zechariah and Elizabeth. Now, one thing you need to do, if we're going to be honest during these Christmas shorts about the Christmas characters of the Bible, is don't picture them looking like me. These were Middle Eastern people, and so this is a Middle Eastern couple with dark skin, Zechariah and Elizabeth. But the reason that we're here is because Zechariah and Elizabeth were super old. Think of the oldest person that you know. Maybe it's yourself, maybe it's somebody else. Zechariah and Elizabeth were older than that. And they had never had a child. They had always wanted a baby. They couldn't have a baby. And so one day, Zechariah, who is a priest, goes into that temple back there. And he walks in and he's burning incense, which was part of his priestly duties, when an angel appears to him. And the angel says to him, "Hey, Zechariah, guess what? You are going to have a baby with Elizabeth." And Zechariah says, "Woo! I'm a priest. I don't have a baby." No, not quite. Zechariah's like, "Man, what you talking about? I'm not going to have a baby. Do you know how old I am? Do you know how old Elizabeth is? We are not going to have a baby. What in the world do you mean?" And the angel's kind of like, "Well, I kind of said that you were, and you kind of didn't believe me. And so when you leave the temple and you come down those stairs today, you're not going to be able to talk until your baby is born. But hey, guess what? He's going to be really cool. You're going to name him John. And you are going to be very surprised at what's going to happen." Now, so what happens is Zechariah, he comes down those stairs, walks out. The people are there. They've been waiting on him to come out. He's the priest. They're waiting on him to do his priestly duties, to talk to God for them, to burn some incense and do some stuff. And he comes down, and all of a sudden he can't talk. But when he went in, he could talk. And so they're all kind of like, what in the world is going on? And they realize, because Zechariah starts moving his hands. You know, he's been able to talk his whole life until now, so he doesn't know sign language. He begins to move his hands, and they realize, wait a minute, something happened in there. He must have seen a vision, and now he can't talk. And so Zechariah goes home, and he can't talk to Elizabeth either. And remember, they're pretty up there in age, and so he's like, And she's like, what? What are you talking about? And so he is surprised when Elizabeth gets pregnant. But could you imagine how surprised Elizabeth must have been when she got pregnant? Because Zechariah couldn't tell her what's going to happen. But then all of a sudden she gets pregnant and she's like, what in the world is going on? Well, the pregnancy is successful. Everything goes great. A baby is born. They want to name him Zechariah after his father. And all of a sudden, Zechariah pulls out a pad. He says his name is John. And they name him John, and Zechariah can talk again. And I don't know what he said after all that time. He's like, I told you were going to be pregnant. You weren't listening, or something like that. Who knows? Well, what's our lesson today here at the temple with Zechariah and Elizabeth in our Christmas short for today? Why are we here? Well, we're here because Zechariah had a hard time believing what the angel told him. Zechariah had a hard time having faith in the Christmas story, having faith in the fact that something miraculous was going to happen in the middle of the world in which he lived. But you know what? God saw his unbelief, and yeah, there was some ability not to talk there, which would have caused everyone to believe even more, right? Because Zechariah couldn't come out and just say, hey, I saw an angel, this is what the angel told me, this is what's going to happen. No, they had to figure it out as they went because Zechariah could not tell them. And so in that unbelief, there's still some belief that grows just from living through life. And there in the midst of the uncertain and the thing that must be impossible, John is born. A baby comes from the impossibility. Something miraculous happens in a world where miraculous things were wanted and needed. And today we might be in such a world. Maybe we don't have this temple. It was destroyed in 70 CE, 70 years after Jesus' death. So we don't have this temple, but we do still, with Zechariah, sometimes step into the places of our lives where we doubt, where we're sad, where we're grieved, where we're anxious. And we say, God, are you even doing anything anymore? The story of Zechariah and Elizabeth is that God can still do the miraculous in the midst of the uncertain. And so this Christmas season, from the temple in first century Jerusalem, hear this. God is still at work. God is still moving. And if God can make something miraculous come from two of the oldest people that you would ever have heard of, then God could do something miraculous in our world. What is being born into our world, into your world, into my world, that just like what happened in this temple could change everything? What do you think? Reflect on that this week as you go through the Advent season that is ahead of us. Friends, it's been fun being with you for this Christmas short. We will see you next week as we talk about Joseph and what he has to teach us. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy Advent, and I will see you back in Benson soon as I figure out how to get back from the temple here. So, all right. See y'all later. Hey, Zechariah! You get me out of here?